the target of this year for completion of the major refineries, it means that this inflation rate we have now will carry over into 2018. But if we manage to build those refineries and we manage to achieve self-sufficiency in at least rice alone by the end of this year, then you will see inflation really coming down next year.
So we can be confident because the acting president and Nigeria's vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, was in Rivers State a few days ago, and he was also in Imo State yesterday, and talked about, encouraging modular refineries, especially for the youths who are into illegal refining. So maybe that will be a quick win. And we know that the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and its Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachukwu, has a 20-point agenda, which hopefully will be achieved before the end of the year in terms of revamping that particular sector and working very closely with stakeholders, including the youths. So maybe what you're hoping to see happen by the end of 2017 just might happen.
Well, you see, you have put about 5 maybes already. So these are the big maybes. For example, how long does it take government to decide to start the modular refineries? You can do it in 1 month. You can do it in 6 months, you can do it in 9 months. So it depends on how fast government wants to start the modular, start in terms of licensing, getting the process done. How long it takes to do certain things to keep peace in the Niger Delta. How soon are you going to open the Maritime University? How soon are you going to complete the East-West Road? How soon are we going to start work on the ground at the Ogoni cleanup? These are the kind of things that will achieve the results we are hoping. If all these actions take place very quickly and you have peace in the Niger Delta, it means that you will have your 2.2 or even more barrels of oil, will produce more oil at about $55 to $60 per barrel, and then we have more dollars flowing in, and then we begin to see a lowering of inflation. So there are so many ifs. It is these ifs that are the issues.
But in trying to address the ifs now, we know that the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria will be holding its second meeting for the year in March. And this is one of the data they'll be looking at, the inflation data. They'll take a look at market data as well. What are you expecting them to do? Will there be any shift, for instance, in maybe not any major shift? What do you think they should be talking about? What would be their major concern?
Well, you see, all that we have discussed, there's nothing monetary about it.
No, there is. We're talking about the currency. We're talking about the Naira dollar.
Yeah,
foreign
it's
exchange.
a reflection of the real economy. How many barrels of oil are you producing? That will determine the foreign currency. That will determine whether you want to tamper with the interest rates, because you want to tamper with interest rates because you believe there will be more money and there's a reason to tamper with it. So most of the things that needs to move the economy now are on the fiscal side. The only significant thing monetary policy needs to address, which it needs to address, is the multiplicity of exchange rates. It's a real issue that in an economy you have several exchange rates. It doesn't matter who is responsible for it, whether it's the CBN, whether it's the Federal Ministry of Finance, whether it is customs. The central bank has to find a way to bring to an end so many interest rates, so many exchange rates. So for example, the customs use the same exchange rates as the interbank foreign exchange. All the pilgrims' trips should be on the same rates. The exchange rate for exports, if you export products and you get your proceeds, it should be on the same rate. There should be one single official, in other words, you should have 2 rates, the CBN rate and the parallel market rate. You don't even need a middle bureau de change exchange rates, which we now have. Even CBN saying, this is the rate for bureau de change, this is the official rate in the interbank foreign exchange market, and then that's the parallel market. The parallel market, the central bank cannot control that. So that can be left alone. But every other rate, apart from the parallel market rate, the central bank has the capacity to collapse all into one rate.
But then you also know that what happens at the parallel market also has a direct relation to what goes on in all the other segments of the market.
So it's easier for the central bank to grapple with just the parallel market rate. To say this is official, this is parallel market, this is the gap, and how do we feel it? But you have customs rates, you have pilgrims rate, you have a BDC rate, you have the official IFM rate. So there are so many rates. So, and that is within the capacity of the monetary policy. committee to say, let us bring an end to that. Let's just have two rates. Whether you are BDC, whether you are customs, whether you are exporters, let's have one official rate and one parallel market.
So, Mr. Idahosa, what's your short-term economic outlook? Because we had this for the December inflation, that was 18.55%. We have January coming in at 18.72. You're expecting that, you already said so, that at least by the first half of the year, that should begin to taper off.
Yes.
But then these are issues that we also have to deal with. So going forward now and in the very short term, what's your expectation?
In the short term, we are likely to remain flat where we are now. The reason is that harvests from agriculture is not going to happen in the next 3, 4, 5 months. So we are not really going to see a big push from agriculture. In the dollar market, the price of oil now is about where it can be, 55 to 60. It's not likely to go far beyond that. So we are not expecting anything really big coming from there. So really the only thing that can change in the short term are government policies to speed up benefits, quick wins from what we can do, speed up action in the Niger Delta to maintain the pace that is there. Ensure that we produce up to the 2.2 that we are allowed so that we can get more dollars. We should be able to do that. We should be also able to speed up infrastructure contracts in the budget so that more jobs can come from there. That's within government control. So in the short term, if we can ramp up infrastructure contracts, hold the pace in the Niger Delta, and ensure that we get the volumes that we get, we will remain flat. Between now and the middle of the year, you can't do a lot of big changes, but you can maintain where we are and hope that the construction of the refineries continue, the expansion in our farm, the large-scale commercial farms continue, and we begin to see the results at the end of the year or early in the first quarter of next year.
Gabriel Idahosa, CEO of UHY Maji & Co. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and sharing your perspectives.
Thank you.
Our Business Morning continues in just a moment. Stay with us.